What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another night of NBA Outlook. Is our nightly recap. Man, look, good games all day today. I don't know if this is the first time in NBA history, but or it's one of the very few times I can confidently say that one of the very few times in which we saw two 8 seeds open the playoffs with game one victories.
You're right though. I can't think of
Like
another
I
season where
can't
it's
think of
happened.
it, but I feel off the top of my head, I'm confident in it. All right,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
been a
confident.
minute.
Like again, like this is what like that whole thing where like, back in the day be like not even back in the day, but like 15 years ago in NCAA tournament would be like, oh, 16s never beat a one. And then it started happening and Lehigh and things like that started happening and we're here now. But shout out to both Orlando and Portland. We're gonna get started with Orlando. But before we get started, obviously, I want to introduce you guys introduce us in case you guys aren't familiar. We're very busy. We had our show earlier tonight, our weekly Tuesday night show, our focus show that airs Fridays on DCTV at 10 p.m. But it's Cardell Dudley Jr. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. Let's get this going, man. Nikola Vucevic,
Yeah,
35 and 15. I'm sorry, 35 and 14. Obviously, a playoff career high for him. And the Orlando Magic still in the top seeded Bucks, 122, 110. You and I talk quite a bit. You know how I feel about Steve Clifford teams. I worry about them scoring, but defensively, they are. It's not fun to play those teams. Like they just don't. That's the one thing we talk about in this league. Teams have issues on that side of the floor, regardless of who's on the floor for a Steve Clifford coach team. They're scrapping. They're playing defense. They're never going away. That's just what they do. I worry about I don't think they're going to score 122 every night, but defensively and what they did on the boards, it went a long way in this one. You made a great point earlier this evening. Folks are pointing at Giannis. Like you said earlier, look at the others. So with that, the floor is yours on this one, sir.
I mean, you just got to start it. I'm tired of people always looking at the superstar. Sometimes it's only what one man can do. You just brought up Steve Clifford teams are very prepared defensively, so there's only so much they're gonna allow that one main player to do. Look, man, let's get right to it. Giannis had 31, 17 to 7. He shot 12 of 25 from the field, 3 of 7 from three. Let me repeat, he shot 3 of 7 from three. So he hit his 3-pointers, and they still lost by 12. But if you go to the other guys that's supposed to step up and help, Chris Middleton, I don't know what goes on in the dang playoffs with him. He shot 4 for 12 from the field. Brooke Lopez was 2 for 9. He got destroyed in his matchup with Vucevic. You know what I'm saying? Eric Bledsoe, 5 of 11. Markel outplayed him. Dante DiVincenzo, supposed to be 6-man of the year type guy, 1 for 6. It's not. You got to look at the others sometimes. They got to step up. They got to do their job. Unless you're just looking for Giannis to, drop 100, put up Wilt numbers or something like that. That's not gonna happen, man. You know what I mean? And my they got to adjust with one thing with the Bucks. Just watching them throughout the season, it kind of irks me. And no disrespect, they're too predictable on offense. Is Giannis coming up the ball, man? Take him off the ball sometimes. I get it every now and then, bring the ball up, but the team is too reliant on that. You know their sets. He's gonna bring the ball up, try to get a head full of steam. If he can't get that, he's gonna draw the defense to kick it out for threes. But if you're not hitting, there's no reason for me to really even dig down. So you kick it out to let's say he kick it out to Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is off, so he's not confident shooting that three. Then he gonna go outside a pick and roll, and Giannis gonna try to roll to the basket, and Chris Middleton gonna try to drive. That's all they do. So it's easy to kind of just all you really got to do is pack the paint and recover. You know what I mean? Take him off the ball. Take him off the ball, make him move without the ball, get in the lane, post, curl, do different things with him, with Giannis, where he's harder to identify. That's what makes guys hard to guard. When you got the ball, you're easy to focus on. But when you're moving, I gotta constantly look at the ball, look at you where Giannis is about to do some easy backdoor plays, get us some easy dunks and stuff like that. That stuff gets you in the rhythm or whatnot. And it makes the defense compromise where, guess what, those other guys have room to roam and operate and try to get theirs. You got to try something different, man, because like you said, Steve Clifford already on that. So he's taking away option A, option B, and making it hard for option C. So what you going to do? And the Bucks have shown when they face these type of teams, the options are limited when you take away their first 2 or 3 options. and they in the dogfight to me.
Now, I'm right with you. And again, to most folks that don't pay attention to Orlando, a lot of people don't outside of you're a Magic fan or you got rooting interest of, folks on that team. But we look at all the teams in the league that kind of don't have wings that can defend or guards that can defend. They have that in spades. Like they're missing a Jonathan Isaac. They're missing a Aaron Gordon. Still the other guys, your Weston Wondu's, your Gary Clarks. Those are guys that made it to the league that understand one of the reasons that they're there is for what they do on that end of the floor. They're full with those types of players. And I love like the DJ Augustine savvy vet, what he gave them today. And you got your change of pace with your future with Markel. You can play them together, different things you could do. And, they just really exploited, like you said, the predictability of the Bucks and the others. The reliance on Giannis got exploited today for Brook Lopez. Dude, you played 29 minutes. You have 5 points and 4 boards. So you take away, if Giannis has a regular night, doesn't have a 17 board effort this evening, this game, the margin of victory could have been even wider because Orlando hits the glass. Brook Lopez literally 5 and 4, 35 and 14.
But you know why? They got him out on the 3-point line shooting threes now. That's where the analytics irks the hell out of me. You're taking your big man from rebounding position and having him shoot threes. So what if he's off? He's just out there on the island watching, and he's not fast enough to try to get back and contest, the guards trying to leak out and get easy baskets and something like that. You putting him in a compromising position. I get it here and there, pick and roll situations. You got to jump and shoot it within the flow, but they leaving him out there to basically be a 3-point shooter. They've been doing that all season. So now you are asking him in playoff time to adjust and be a traditional big man, go on the block like how he was with the Nets early in his career. That ain't going to happen. Plus, with Giannis shooting being iffy, streaky. Let me say streaky. He's improved from iffy to streaky. It's not enough room down in that paint for both of them. So I would just like to see more high-low things. You don't necessarily have to be at the 3-point line. Giannis can pass his ass off. That's what they don't understand. Put him in the high post where he's literally one dribble from dunking on the whole team, or he could pass it out, or he can at least dribble and draw a crowd and then dump it off to Brook Lopez where he can get some easy baskets. But it's hard to do that when Lopez out here in the corner trying to shoot threes. So they got some adjustments to make, man. They're going to have to switch up that offense.
Yeah, and literally everything you said about the kind of the limits as to how the Bucks use Brook. Orlando does a great job of making sure Vooch is, there's times when he pops, but he doesn't just pop. There's also times he gets the ball on the block, gets in the high post. It's literally a contrast. Like you said, you got one team that's uber predictable with how they go about their business, and obviously Orlando's not an offensive juggernaut, but they get the most out of Vucevic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They know how to get the most out of him, and that's why he hurt the Bucks on every level of the floor.
Yes, he did
tonight. All right, just high
scoring is a skill.
Yes.
Post scoring is a skill. I'm tired of people thinking skills only relevant. It's only limited to your handle and shooting 3-pointers. Nah, man. Yeah, it's 3 levels of the floor. You gotta be able to score in 3-point, mid range, and inside. And inside is not just driving inside, post work. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to score from the free throw line. And also scoring is a part of defense. When you get steals, can you turn those turnovers into points? You feel what I'm saying? It's a total team thing, man. It's a total game thing, and people don't look at all that, man, because they look at their little cute stuff or whatever. But the Bucks are predictable, man. It's as simple as that. And they're going to have to mix some things up to try to get about the series because Orlando on them.
Yeah, and it's going to have to start with somebody on the perimeter being able to break down and create for somebody else. Because those guards and wings Orlando, Clifford already, he said sick them already. They're not leaving unless you give them a reason. And you're going to have to make them respect you. Other than that, it's clamps out there.
Orlando's going to get stronger when Gordon gets back. So it's even more problems. That's another guy, athletic guy you could throw at Giannis. So you can't he's doing what he's supposed to do. He showed up where everybody else. It's another all-star on that team. He was awfully quiet.
It's a very kind way to say it. On to the second game of the day. Oh, man. Jimmy Butler scored 28. Sorry, Goran Dragic had 24, and the Heat pulled away in the closing minutes, 113-101. The Pacers lost their star guard Victor Oladipo to an eye injury. What's obviously we're hoping that he's all right, but what really hurt the Pacers is I saw that today. They literally for the playoffs they just removed the minutes restriction from them, and then they lose them in the first quarter. Still, no excuse for not getting it done. And honestly, some of the places where they struggled, Miles Turner, you are a very talented big man. You have to do more.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just being, I wouldn't say this or ask this or demand this of you if I thought you couldn't. But 9-9, it's not enough, especially when you got to deal with Bam, Kelly Olynyk. Miami has a lot of different type of options in their front court to deal with, and you're one of the few mobile bigs in the league that is really good defensively. You gotta do more, man, especially with it going out. But your thoughts on this one, Cardell?
I agree wholeheartedly. I was going to look at Miles Turner. They go out, you got to be more aggressive. T.J. Warren doing what he can. Malcolm Brogdon doing what he can. Just looking at all the stats and whatnot. No one else really got off like that. No one else, really shot well. Justin Holiday, he had a pretty efficient game. He maybe should have been more aggressive, got shot more, 11. He was 4-4 from the field. Jakar Sampson, he played well. He had 10, 5 or 6. But that's the production you would look for them, being like 8th or 9th rotation guys coming off the bench. That's the positive for them, man. You know what I mean? But, you look at Aaron Holiday, I understand this is kind of like his playoff break-in or whatnot. He's still got ways to go. With Oladipo injured, we don't know what, his situation is. Mm-hmm. It's going to have to be Miles Turner. Because if T.J. Warren, Malcolm Brogdon bring what they're bringing, which is 22 apiece, it got to be him, man. And at the very least, fine. If you're not going to score, if you're going to put up 99, then Bam got to have similar numbers. He can't have 17 and 10. When I find for 17 and 6, nearly a triple double, though. You know what I'm saying? 7 of 14, 50% shooting from the field. That's just too easy, man. Fine. If I ain't gonna score, you ain't scoring either. We just gonna be some 2 scoreless motherfuckers. So that's how you should look at it, man. And just not enough firepower on Indiana to match with Miami guys, so you have to. And if you don't step up, it's going to be a short series.
Nah, I don't really have much to add to that. You're right. Especially when you're at you can't go shot for shot with them. That's something you don't want to do with them at all. And just a reminder to some folks, because, people like to forget things. Goran Dragic's always been solid in the playoffs. It's a veteran guard who knows what he's doing. And that's kind of the biggest difference here is Miami has guys that have played in the playoffs, have been successful in the playoffs. No, neither of them have won a championship, but they've had experience in runs in the playoffs. And for Indiana, to get past things like that, you got to be on top of all the little things. You can't get out hustled by Miami. Miami's going to be Miami, but you got to master intensity. Again, going back to Miles Turner. And not just him, everyone. You have to master intensity. Miami, regardless of what's been going on over there, SPO coach teams, man, they play a certain way down there. They're always going to play that way. They always try to get guys that fit that mentality in there. And like you said, it's going to be a short series if you end up trying to get into a battle of firepower with Miami. It's going to be even shorter series if you don't take care of the little things, because they will get you out of here. Because that's not a team that, some teams, we talk about Houston's and some other teams that score a lot where they'll let you back in the game. And Miami's not about to let you back in the game. Once they get the vice grip on you, they tighten for the most part, more often than they don't. You had anything to add to this one?
No, that's why a lot of people just don't really give the Pacers much of a chance, because he could play either way. They could play up and down type of basketball, or they could ugly it up. And I actually think they prefer to ugly it up. You know what I'm saying? It's just they have the offense going. They'll go ahead and take the W that way. So, like I said, man, the Pacers, Miles Turner is the key. He's the key because he's a footer that can do it all. We've kind of been waiting on him for the last few years. And like, man, he got potential.
Right.
There's no reason why he shouldn't be at least knocking on the door of being an all-star by now. to really uplift that team. You can't keep getting bound on potential.
You're right. At some point, you run out of waiting. Teams run out of waiting, and it's just going to be one of the things where they move on to somebody who might have a better chance of reaching it, and you'll fall into that category. One of those guys. Well, man, I wonder what would have happened if. So again, Miles, the reason that speaking like this, there's no reason why you can't be that. There's just no reason at all. All right, moving on to the third game of this evening. It's still so weird to me, man. We got 4 games a day starting at like 1 p.m. Trying to get used to this, right? James Harden had 37 points and 11 rebounds as Houston beat Oklahoma City 123-108 to take a 1-0 lead in the series. Your thoughts on this one, Cardell?
Backcourt play and bench play. I just think Houston dominated OKC's backcourt. Obviously James Harden had the monster game, 37, 11 rebounds. Eric Gordon had 21. But, Chris Paul had the near triple-double, 20, 10, and 9. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only was 9 4, 2 for 8 from the field. Dennis Schroeder, 6 points. Diallo, 7 points. Bazley, 9 points. Jeff Green had 22 by himself. McLemore had 14. So the bench outplayed OKC. Houston's bench outplayed OKC's bench. And obviously Houston's backcourt thoroughly outplayed OKC's backcourt, which is how OKC beats teams through those two areas.
Mm-hmm.
The front court, OKC, they played well. Gallinari had 29. Steven Adams had 17 as well. He dominated Robert Covington like he should. Gallinari got P.J. Tucker, which is rare. You don't really see P.J. Tucker getting busted up like that. Daniel House had 9, and Terrence Ferguson had 6. So they kind of canceled each other out. That's where they lost the game. And the sad part, the bad part is Russ will be back soon. So if the bench if OKC bench don't wake up and bring the energy that they've been bringing, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I understand this is his first time in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting heavy minutes where he's counting on that role. We need you. You got to bring it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he don't bring it, it's going to be over. It's going to be brooms. You know what I'm saying? Because it might be brooms even if he do bring it.
Right. I mean, you're right. And the other thing, just their communication on the defensive end was so bad. It was just so bad. There were so many times where you got 3 dudes on one side of the floor, nobody's clearly communicating, and you're still not. You got 3 people on one side of the floor. There's 2 Houston players, and one of the 2 Houston players, even though they're outnumbered, is still wide open for a corner 3. Like, it's going to be a short series if you don't clear that up. Houston's Houston, and we know they play how they play, but one of the biggest things about Houston, if you have no idea what you're doing as a unit defensively, man, you're in trouble. You are in a world of trouble. Like, James going to do James things, and if you guys can't guard the other guys, like you said, Ben McLemore had 14. Jeff goes for 20 something. Like,
McLemore's been playing well on the bubble, man. He's been, like that's what I'm saying. Houston dangerous, you know what I'm saying? So can't add single digits, man. You just gotta understand what the situation is. You gotta bring it.
No, you're right. All right, on to the last game, the latest game of the evening. The Blazers execute down the stretch to beat the Lakers 100-93. Dame Lillard with 34, LeBron with 23, 17, and 15. But I'll let you get to this one. Where do you want to start?
Man, we're going to just start in the backcourt. Simple. The Lakers backcourt with Danny Green, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, 11 points combined. Dame and CJ, 55. Nurkic had 16 and 15. JaVale McGee had 6 and 8. Dwight Howard had 4 and 5. That's where they basically won the game at. You expect LeBron James and Anthony Davis to do what they do.
Right.
To win their matchups night after night, that's a given. But they really got nothing from outside Kuzma from nobody else. And then when you look at the 3-point shooting, they shot 5 for 32. But this is actually the best defensive game I've seen from Portland all bubble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they were running out really hard contests, getting back. Well, they ain't get back well because the Lakers were breaking out. But the time Melo got back, he was getting blocks. They was calling a little touchy, ticky-tack fouls or whatnot. But that's where they lost the game. And then the scary part is the Blazers ain't even play as well as they playing, because we seen them where the defense was just totally non-existent and the offense just shooting lights out, and that's how they
Mm-hmm.
pull it out. So the fact that they play even halfway defense this game to cover up for the times where their offense kind of gets stymied or whatever, that's a problem. And the Lakers haven't really shot good from three for most of the bubble. So, but I don't expect them to keep shooting this bad.
Right.
I think they're gonna mix it up. I think JR and Dion will see some minutes because they just need offensive firepower. You know what I mean? Danny Green's been off pretty much for the last couple of weeks. Horrible. He's in a horrible slump. They need him to kind of wake up. But that's the thing about the Lakers. Who's gonna be the third guy? And until they find that reliable guy, it's gonna be tough because Portland will and can make shots. When you think you about to pull away, here they come. You know what I'm saying? They can make shots from all over the court. They can do an ISO, running sets on the move, defensively getting out and running. You know what I mean? It's just they're a handful, man. And the game, the type of game LeBron had, 23, 17, 15, you're not supposed to lose those type of games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he normally fills things out in the first half. But I'm not sure, what really major adjustments they can make other than getting JR and Dion more minutes. Guys, veteran guys that won't be, phased by the lights and they know how to put the ball in the hole, and that will keep guys at bay. But at the same time, defensively, you might be in trouble. So that's what happens when you have to deal with Portland, Dame, and CJ, man. It's just it's a monster, and then again, people need to understand this is not your typical 8 seed. It had Portland been healthy all year, they wouldn't be the 8 seed. They'd be top 5 in the conference like they were last year, if not better. So you gotta take it for what it is. It's not your typical 8 seed, so it's gonna be a battle.
Yeah, and another thing I feel like that's going to affect the Lakers in this series for the most part through most of bubble play. Their front line towers over other teams' front lines. And even tonight, they had stretches where they got offensive rebounds, but unlike past games, all those offensive rebounds didn't lead to automatic buckets. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get the rebound, but there's 2 other 7-footers there to still contest. So like tonight on the glass, I think the Lakers won 55-50. But again, just looking at it, again, you got those numbers right there, 55-50, but it felt like one team's interior defense in terms of one team was better at protecting the rim than the other. And Portland did a good job protecting the rim. Whiteside was down there really changing things. You had it's not too many times LeBron gets a full head of steam and bails out at the last second. And if you got him doing that, and that changes the Lakers play, period, because for them to have the size out there, which they typically need at times because, AD doesn't like being at the 5. And even in this matchup at the 5, he might have a mismatch in terms of foot speed, but once you get down that paint, all that goes away because of the girth and the size of Nurk and Whiteside. And then the paint's clogged. So like you said, if you give some more minutes to some of these guards, and you take one of the footers off the floor, now that rebound battle might get tipped the other way. So like you said, I don't know how many more adjustments the Lakers can make in terms of how these teams match up. It's going to be fun to watch to me.
Man, you're right. And the thing that makes Portland so dangerous, man, they had some big shot makers. It ain't even just Dame and CJ. Melo hit those big shots.
Yep.
Gary Harris, that damn 3 he hit. I'm like, Youngin, you not even supposed to be taking no hold up, Youngin. Like, no, but, he is, that's the luxury of having a father, a parent that played in the NBA. Those lights are not new to you. You grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? It's the Bane term. I was born in it, molded by it. It's the Bane, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a game. Let me just hit this shot. So, and that was after he hit the side of the backboard. You know what I mean? Came down at the big 3. So the Lakers got to play, and no one's just laying down. So, and I like it. We talked about it yesterday. Neutral court.
Yeah.
See, it comes
changes
down to
a lot.
mentally tough because you don't have the crowd behind you to either lift you up or your crowd can like take away the other team by getting on them or sway the refs. So it's gonna be like who has the more mental toughness to stay with the game plan and execute. And we know the Blazers. I know LeBron AD tough enough, but I think as a team, the Blazers overall tougher because we've seen it the way they had to win just to make it to this point. So they not tripping. So it's gonna be fun, man. We all knew this was gonna be a fun series to begin with, man. So I'm just gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, and then the other thing with the Blazers, Waylon Gabriel, had to play tonight for Zach Collins. He did what he could, but if they get Zach Collins back, that throws another wrinkle into things for the Lakers as well, because Zach Collins is one of the guys that, unlike Whiteside, Zach can step out a little bit. And it's another guy that could bang on the glass too. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the Lakers end up doing offensively, because from a spacing standpoint, especially if you're not hitting the floor, it gets so much smaller. I thought it was a great point. I think it was Kenny Smith during halftime. He was talking about, AD would get the ball not on the wing at times, but like a foul line extended at times, and he would kind of waste time instead of attacking. And then, that double, they can send a double and still get back. They don't get burned for it. And that's one of those things like we were just talking about with the Blazers got down low. The times when you got to jump on them, you could get downhill before someone's there to meet you. You got to take advantage of it, because once they're set, Whiteside and Nurk ain't going nowhere, man.
But that's the point. The Lakers didn't play against this Portland team all year because guys were out. So they don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's different when it's your first time. Like, you played against them, but it's different now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got to be careful, because Dame and CJ are excellent, guards that dig down, get steals. They on you. You know what I mean? So you got to look out for that. Now you got these 7-footers coming from both sides. Chris Webber, people clowning him for his commentating skills. But, you know what I mean? He did make a great point. It's like playing against the Spurs. You get past 10, all right, congratulations. Now David Robinson waiting on you. You see what I'm saying? That the Lakers don't see that often, and I mean, shoot. I can't even think of nobody.
I don't think they've seen it all year, like you said. Yeah,
you might see a Rudy Gobert or something like that,
and you could pull him out.
Or Embiid, you know what I'm saying? That's it, and that's in the East. You only deal with them once a year. You're not seeing this, so. Look, Nurkic coming back was huge. Collins coming back is huge. Collins is 6'10". You know what I mean? Nurkic is a footer. Then Whiteside. Because Whiteside, and honestly, Nurkic coming back is making Whiteside play smarter and better. Because we was critical of him all season, like, give him some good minutes, because he knows if he don't play smart, play with some energy and make an impact, you on the bench, dog. You're going to be waving the towel.
Yeah.
You look like, you know what I'm saying? And Nurkic will get all those minutes. So, but he came up big, man. He had some huge blocks on it, and down the stretch or whatnot. That's what they need from you, dog. Play big, dunk. You know what I'm saying? Because Nurkic isn't the most physically strong big man, so he has trouble with Dwight. All right, I'm gonna put Whiteside on Dwight. See, now you can't do that to Whiteside. You know what I'm saying? It's just about Whiteside gonna bite on all the antics and stuff. Right. Just play smart. But Nurkic against AD, Nurkic against Markieff, JaVale McGee, he's fine. And you know what I'm saying? The way he's rebounding the ball, getting them, and that's another thing that helped the Portland Trail Blazers. The Lakers out rebounding them barely, but they ain't get second, third chances, offensive rebounds to go back up and dunk the ball and give them extra possessions, man. Because Nurkic was getting one shot and out, and the more possessions you get, Dame and CJ, you eventually gonna get burned, and that's the luxury. So, man, this is an ultimate chess match right now, because it is, and it's fun. This is what basketball is all about, man. This is what basketball beautiful.
And my last thing before we get out of here, and just tonight, the Lakers, because of these things, especially with dealing with a team where their two best players, they land their punches from 25 feet, 35 feet out. That stretch where LeBron and AD went to the line and you didn't get one free throw made, 0 for 4, and that was responded to by back-to-back threes. It's the little things, especially when your team's your team doesn't – the way you guys score – it's kind of like for every 2 possessions, you guys get a bucket inside or something like that. That's almost made up in one possession by Portland, especially with Dame out here shooting from the freaking logo comfortably. Yeah, like you said, the more potential possessions they get, the more chances you're given an assassin to do assassin-like things. And yeah, it's gonna be fun, man.
But
All
that's
these
the
series.
criticism. That's the criticism of AD. Can you show up and finish game to be consistent in big games in the playoffs? LeBron, can you finish games? You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. If you don't fold when LeBron is like hitting you with haymakers with his teams, if you don't fold, that's when he usually kind of you can beat him because he got to go to the line and close games, tight games, hitting free throws and stuff, and he's iffy there. That's the one part of the game that people don't want to just be real about. He's iffy. You know what I mean? I think what he shoot for the season like 63%, something like that. Like it wasn't that high, so you could live with that. You know what I mean? And Melo may not be the same Melo from the Nuggets or whatnot, but you got to be aware of him because he is capable of still going off 20 plus a game. You know what I mean? So that means he has to guard. LeBron can't rest because every time you look up, you know Nurkic and Whiteside in the game, those are big centers, so he has to bang with them. Then you got to guard Melo. And you know you got to guard CJ and the Dame. So everywhere you look all game, he can't rest. Normally they will rest him and stuff like that till it's money time and put him on whoever the go-to guy is, and you can't do that now. And it's interesting. It's fun, man. So I'm anxious to see how they adjust, man. So we gonna see.
Yeah, you summed it up perfectly. That one is definitely a chess match. We're gonna see how this goes. Got another wonderful day of playoffs coming up, in some hours. But for Cardell Dudley, Wilson Tarpe Jr., we will see you guys very, very soon because the playoffs gonna keep us busy. So we'll be back late tonight, rather, because it's technically the 19th. We're gonna have NBA, our nightly NBA recap and our nightly WNBA recap. So we'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.